Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into what has to be one of the most unlikely, but honestly visually stunning, pairings in the aquatic hobby. So, in one corner, we've got the common goldfish. You know them, you love them, but let's be real, they are notoriously messy and basically act like little bulldozers in planted tanks. And then, in the other corner, we have the peace lily. Elegant, vibrant, looks super delicate. Now, at first glance, sticking a beautiful houseplant anywhere near a ravenous, digging goldfish sounds like an absolute recipe for disaster. But, as we're about to see, these two are actually kind of a match made in heaven.
Seriously, to see what I mean, just take a look at this post from Reddit user Jake0E_Aquaria. They shared this picture of an absolute monster of a plant. They literally just took a basic $3 peace lily from a home improvement store, popped it right into their goldfish tank, and get this, in just 8 months, the thing exploded. It quadrupled in size, weighing in at a whopping 12 pounds. It's just a completely mind-blowing result that immediately makes you wonder, right? Like, how on earth is this working so perfectly?
Okay, let's dive into this, because I know exactly what some of you are screaming at your screens right now. Is it safe to keep a peace lily with goldfish? Whenever someone brings up peace lilies in pet communities, the internet panic is immediate. The very first comment is always, "Wait, no, aren't those toxic? You can't put that in the water with your fish." And you know what? It's a completely valid concern. We are absolutely going to unpack the real facts on that toxicity question in just a second. But first, before we tackle the toxicity, we kind of need to talk about the core problem of keeping plants with goldfish anyway. It's basically a clash of two extremes. Goldfish have an incredibly high bioload. That's just a polite way of saying they produce a ton of waste. Plus, they have an insatiable appetite for grains. On the flip side, your standard submerged aquarium plants are usually pretty delicate, they pull out of the gravel way too easily, and honestly, they just end up becoming a really expensive leafy salad for your fish. Anyone in the goldfish keeping community knows this struggle all too well. I actually love this quote from Reddit user Graveyard Rush Hour, who affectionately describes their fish as friendly, calm, but severely stupid when it comes to destroying plants. It's a running joke, right? A goldfish will cheerfully uproot literally anything in its path. You spend hours meticulously creating this gorgeous underwater aquascape, and they just treat it like an all-you-can-eat buffet mixed with a construction zone.
Right, so back to the big question, the toxicity. Is it safe? Well, the panic actually stems from a total misunderstanding of the name. If you look at the botanical facts here, a true lily from the Liliaceae family, yeah, that is highly poisonous. That can cause acute organ failure in animals. Keep those away. But the peace lily, actually not a true lily at all. It's from the Spathiphyllum genus, and its toxicity is considered very mild. We're talking local irritation rather than anything fatal.
So the actual culprit behind this mild toxicity is the stuff called calcium oxalate crystals. Basically, these are microscopic, needle-like structures floating around in the sap of the peace lily. If an animal actually chews on the leaves, those little crystals cause a burning sensation in the mouth or maybe some mild skin irritation, but they absolutely do not cause kidney failure. So what does this mean for us? It means no, you shouldn't chop it up and serve it as a salad, but if handled correctly, the plant is totally safe to coexist right there in the water with your fish.
And hey, if you still need some reassurance, just look at the community proof. Seasoned aquarists on the Monster Fish Keepers forum have been running this exact setup for years. Take user Gearhead here. They've kept peace lilies in a tank alongside herbivorous silver dollars for over 6 months. The fish are constantly snacking on the aquatic roots of the plant, and guess what? They are perfectly healthy, completely fine. It turns out our fish are way more resilient to those roots than we generally give them credit for.
So, now that we know the peace lily is definitely safe and actually thrives in these specific tanks, how do we pull this off? Well, it's all about setting up the ultimate symbiosis. You're taking the crazy high waste output of the goldfish and matching it directly with the massive nutrient requirements of a fast-growing houseplant. That right there, that is where the magic happens.
Now, according to an awesome tutorial by the Plant Life Project on YouTube, prepping a peace lily for your tank is a very specific process. You can't just toss it in. First, you take a mature, potted plant and meticulously wash away every last bit of soil. Next, you can totally divide that main clump up into smaller plants if you want. Step 3 is absolutely crucial, though. Wipe down all the leaves to remove any leftover nursery fertilizers or fungicides. You really don't want those chemicals getting in your fish water. Finally, you just place the roots down into the water, usually suspending it with something like an egg crate basket.
But wait, what's really interesting here is this super clever, dirt-cheap hack our Reddit user Jeg08 Aquaria came up with to secure their massive 12-pound plant. Instead of building a custom basket, they literally just wrapped the bare roots in standard aquarium filter polyfill, stuffed the whole thing into a plastic mesh bag, and pinned it tight between the back glass of the tank and the filter outlet. The roots just grow straight through the mesh, and it holds that giant plant perfectly in place. Brilliant, right?
Now, one really vital thing to keep in mind when you do this: manage your expectations during the acclimation phase. The Plant Life Project makes a great point. Taking a plant out of nice, cozy soil and dumping its bare roots into water causes transplant shock. You are absolutely going to see some leaves wilting. You'll actually watch the old brown soil-grown roots rot and fall off. Do not panic. Seriously, it's completely normal. The plant is literally just shedding its old terrestrial roots so it can push out fresh, white aquatic water roots.
And once those new aquatic roots really take off, oh man, let's look at what this does for your tank's water quality. The Peace Lily basically transforms from just being a pretty decoration on top of your tank into nature's ultimate water filter. Honestly, this is the main reason you pair them with those messy goldfish in the first place.
The biological benefits are just staggering. As those roots grow, they aggressively suck up the excess nitrogen and waste the goldfish are constantly producing, basically using it as free fertilizer. And as the roots branch out, from primary to secondary to tiny tertiary structures, they multiply their surface area immensely. This huge, dense root network acts exactly like a giant biological sponge. It houses massive colonies of beneficial bacteria that purify the water, which, and this is the best part, drastically reduces the number of manual water changes you have to do.
Oh, and if you want the absolute pro tip from the Plant Life Project, try what they call double filtration. Instead of just letting the roots dangle near the surface, let them grow all the way down through the water column until they anchor directly into the gravel or sand at the bottom. By doing that, your plant is literally pulling toxic waste from both the free-floating water and the dirty substrate at the exact same time. It is just wildly efficient.
But hey, let's pivot for a quick second. Having a giant houseplant exploding out of the top of your aquarium is definitely a specific vibe. What if a Peace Lily just isn't for you? What if you really just want traditional fully submerged plants, but you still have a goldfish that seems absolutely determined to destroy everything you love?
Well, you're in luck because the experts over at Aquarium Co-op have put together a list of the top 5 hardy goldfish-resistant plants. First up, you've got the Crinum calomestratum, which has incredibly tough, crinkly leaves. Then there's Anubias and Java fern. Both of these have really thick, durable rhizomes instead of fragile little stems. You can also toss in some Marama moss balls. Goldfish literally just kick them around like little fuzzy soccer balls without doing any damage. And finally, the Bolbitis Fern, which is a beautiful, highly textured plant that's tough enough to survive even the biggest monster fish.
But here is the absolutely crucial point. Even if you buy these tough-as-nails plants, you still cannot just bury them in the gravel or your goldfish will dig them straight up. You need a protection strategy. Aquarium Co-op highly recommends tightly wedging those rhizomes between heavy rocks, tying or supergluing them directly to pieces of driftwood, or even hiding their plastic nursery pots completely inside heavy artificial decorations. Basically, whatever you do, you have to anchor them down tight.
So, whether you decide to go with the completely indestructible Anubias, or you go all in and grow a 12-pound Peace Lily at the top of your living room tank, the science of this symbiosis is crystal clear. The messy fish provide the fuel, and the plants do the heavy lifting to keep that water pristine. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Your goldfish is definitely doing its job making a total mess in there. Are you ready to let a Peace Lily clean